Thinking about a move to Victoria? Well, people are going to tell you that it's constantly raining, it's way too expensive, and this is a city only for retirees. And that's not really the whole truth. So in this video, I'm going to break down 3 of the biggest myths about Victoria and help you decide if it makes sense for you to move here. I'm Sean P. I'm a real estate agent living in Victoria, and in these videos, I try to help people understand our real estate landscape and make better decisions about where they want to live. If you find this useful, please like and subscribe so you don't miss anything else that we put out. And if you have plans involving real estate and you want to connect with me, you can use the link in the description to grab some time. The number one myth you'll hear about moving to Victoria is that it's always raining here. Okay, there is some truth to the fact that we do get a decent amount of rainfall on the island. After all, this is a lush and beautiful environment, and those plants need something to make them grow. But the reality is that it's not nearly as bad as most people make it sound. We're in what's called a Mediterranean climate. That means that we have a cool, wet winter and a dry summer. Our summer, though, is long. From right about mid-March through till mid-October, we have very, very little rain. So we do have rainy months in the winter, but they're not the majority of the year, and most of the time it's overnight rain with a little bit in the afternoon. It's not consistent drizzle. I will also say that we're also contrasted frequently with Vancouver, and we get a little more than 1/3 of the rainfall they get. So there's far less rain than other parts of the coast. The second thing you're going to hear is that Victoria is too expensive to call home. Okay, the reality is we do pay a bit of a premium on everyday things like gas and groceries because we have to ship everything that we use onto the island in order to use it. So that does add a little bit of cost. Now, our housing market often can create a little bit of sticker shock for people who are leaving other parts of Canada that aren't quite as well established as Victoria. If you're coming from Toronto or Vancouver, you'll be pleasantly surprised by our prices. The reality is, it's doable. If you want to make this your home, you only live once. And if you work with the right person, they'll be able to figure out what kinds of housing are an option to you. If you start out looking at single family detached and it feels out of reach, realize that we have a thriving condo sector. There's all kinds of other property types that often are overlooked, like half duplexes or like multi-residential options. And a lot of people choose to take a property with an income suite because it offsets such a generous portion of your mortgage. So the point is to explore before you make assumptions. All right, the last thing that you'll hear when you tell people you're moving to Victoria is that it's only for old people. Okay, the truth is we do have a lot of people who retire here. The reality is that many people who grew up here in the 60s, 70s, and 80s left for work and are coming back home. And we also have a lot of people who did their working lives and careers in other provinces, come to visit Victoria and choose to make it the place that they return to because they fell in love with it and they want to spend their retirement here. With that out of the way, that is not the norm. The majority of people are not retirees here. We have a thriving community of people who move here for the art scene and the local cultural aspect of living in Victoria. Again, we are so interconnected with nature on the island that many people just choose to be here because they want it for their lifestyle. University of Victoria brings us an ever-changing student population, so there's always fresh energy from that. And ultimately, there are a tremendous number of small families that are relocating from other parts of Canada because they want a safe and wholesome place to raise their kids. So should you move to Victoria? Well, we have a reputation of being a rainy, expensive place for old people, but that's not really the truth. The reality is that it's not as rainy as people think, and it's not for old people. Most of the people who are moving here are younger families. Now, the cost behind it can be something that can be a hurdle to people, but here's the deal. You only live once, and if this is where you feel like you want to live, you should fight for it, and there are creative ways to make it happen. Again, you can reach out to connect with me using the link in the description, and I could even help. With all of this, I'm so grateful that you took the time to watch this video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and watch out for the next one that we're dropping soon.